you want to make an entrance with all your goodies, or do you just want to?
Dude, I'll just pull them out. Okay. I'm not one to make too much of a show, but I'll let everyone know. You know, podcasts. It's important to have a conversation over some food, some drink, and so I reached out to Joe's wife, Megan, and found out he likes hot Cheetos and Mountain Dew. Who doesn't like hot Cheetos and Mountain Dew? So this is for you, my friend.
Now for the Forge Podcast. Question for you: what's the power of your testimony if it's never shared? This is the Forge Podcast. I love it, man. I love walking up the stairs. You're already here. I'm like, man, why does it smell like coffee in here? You're up here. You've already percolated a vat of coffee. Yeah. You've got flaming hot Cheetos.
I grabbed that cup, by the way.
Mountain Dew.
Thank you. Dude, that's just, to me, that's just part of having a good conversation. Just having something to eat, something to drink.
Yeah.
Good company. You gotta love it.
Trace.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Forge Podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Such a joy to be here.
I've been looking forward to this. You said a minute ago we have kindred spirits.
Yeah.
The first day I saw you in Discovery Kids, I'm like, this dude, you've got something. I said this when we were talking last week. And I hope you don't have a problem dealing with pride, because I'm going to lay it on thick real quick. What you do is incredible. Your energy and your where the Lord has put you in ministry is, perfect. It is the spot for you. It is so inspiring to watch you get up in front of the kids, how you teach, how you talk to them, how you meet them on their level. It's incredible. I love it, man. You just have such a... We all have gifts, but you have a gift, and you're that gift, that puzzle piece is in the right spot. It's Joe, incredible.
You're too kind, man. I'll give it right back. I just think you're an absolutely incredible leader. I love what you're doing with the Forge podcast and everything
Thanks.
like that. And I feel like every single time that I see you, you're just so quick to give out these compliments. And I know it's not just to me either. And so you're just a great guy. And so,
I'm more of an introvert, but I will say I'm inspired by you, like especially at Discovery Kids. I'm like, man, this guy brings it all the time. So I challenge myself to be even more so.
Well,
because of you. So
I appreciate that. You know what's odd is on the scale.
Are we going to do this for an hour and a half?
I know. I don't know. Maybe. I'm actually an introvert too. It's I am just very out there, and I don't really have a whole lot of shame either. But as far as recharging and everything like that, to me, there's just something special about just being at home alone.
Yeah.
But I know, just like you, the value of community, being with others, and like I said, putting yourself out there for the kingdom and for community.
The more I think of it, I'm very comfortable being by myself, but as I step more into how God's designed me, and I shed, my hat says significance since 1977, which is when I was born.
Okay.
But I struggled with insignificance and not really understanding the value of my voice. And so when that broke, it's like, oh, I'm more outgoing. I'm more Trace than what I had ever given myself credit for or had ever allowed myself to even explore. And so maybe I'm a little bit more outgoing than I think, but it's fun to step into how God designed you, and then to be able to take that out to people in need, to the kids at Discovery Kids, and to be that light. Because one thing I love about you is Sunday school meant so much to me growing up. It was the people that I grew up with leading me. I mean, it inspired me and my brothers. I still remember my Bible verses from back then. Yeah. Sunday school was fundamental, and to be able to have you as that leader, that speaking into not only my kids but the kids around the church, incredible influence. Incredible.
I'm honored and humbled every single day to be able to walk in and this is my job. And I'll be honest, for a little while at the beginning, I was just questioning why God
Oh,
had
really?
me in this position, because for a really long time I held such a high view of pastors in that position. And after doing a little bit of work, I think that some of that might have been fear-based, of being that close with people and having the level of influence that a lot of pastors have. But it really is just so honoring getting over that, because I know that Sunday school does have a lot of influence on our kids, and I think that's something we need to handle really delicately.
Right.
Something you also said before we get too far away from it, you're talking about, like, be the light and everything like that. I just wonder how much of you finding your voice and me being so outgoing, how much of that is just attributed to Christ, just making that change in and of our lives, not that everyone has to be so out there, but I know that I would not be this way if it wasn't almost just a spiritual gifting of mine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Me too. How I see it is God created me this way, and I think I'm just still at the tipping point. I think there's more to discover, but how God created me has been hidden by either sin in my life, disobedience, walking away, shame, covering over the design of how he created me.
Sure.
That gets through life, that can just get bogged down and covered over. And without Jesus, it's impossible to see that. It's impossible to uncover and to peel back the layers to see, oh my gosh, this is how Jesus designed me and created me.
Right.
And I remember the day when I remember praying, driving home after dropping my girls off at school. I drive the same route every day so I can have the exact same amount of time to pray. I take the long way home. I remember praying. I said, God, I'm going to be as bold as a lion. That was not me. But I could see the changes. So I think, what am I trying to say? God has us designed in a certain way. Life gets in the way through our own sin, through injustices, through pride, whatever it is. But through Jesus, as you said, he uncovers that. And then you get to shine. You get to be this incredible influence.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's to one person or like you in front of, 200, 300 kids every Sunday.
Well, and the beauty of that, of what you just said, is that everyone has specific roles to play, because there are people out there that will be moved by going to these big audience, 200 to 300 person sermons. But there are also people that won't be reached that way, that need to be reached in one-on-one or small group conversations. And God has equipped people to shepherd others in incredible ways.
Yeah.
Just because you see someone on a stage, that doesn't mean that they're any better or they're playing a more important kingdom role in any way.
But our culture's made it that way.
Oh, I know. And the funny thing is,
if I'm not a pastor, what's my role in the church?
Right.
Like, that's kind of the...
Yes. Oh, and I'm excited to talk about that a lot today too. But the funny thing is, a lot of times in those smaller group conversations, that's when the real life change can actually happen. And, God, those are the moments where God really speaks. And so I just think those are incredible giftings.
Yep. I was talking... Do you know Edward Nakla?
Oh, yeah. Of course I know Edward. He's
so
awesome.
He was on last week, and talking about the one-on-one. I mean, he heads up the mentoring at the Forge, and that's a lot of just one-on-one. That dude's built for that.
Yes.
Like, I mean, he teaches as well. So he teaches in front of 400 guys, but he also goes and does one-on-one. I mean, man, I love his heart. Yeah. His heart is just for people. But you nailed it. The ministry is in the one-on-one. I mean, sure. Jason Belcher says that that the gospel moves at the speed of relationships, and build that one. And relationships can only be built through one-on-one. Really, I mean, you can go a couple guys at a time, but it's still me connecting with you, you connecting with me. If there's 4 or 5 guys, we all have to eventually connect for the relationship to be built. And that's why I value this podcast so much, is because I get to sit down and just talk one-on-one with you.
Right.
Just two guys. Like, it's not a table of 10 guys, and like every now and then I get to say, "Hey Trace, what do you think?"
Right.
Because if I ask you at a table of 10 guys, I get 10 answers from everybody else.
Oh, sure.
And I don't really get to commune with you. So I just value this, man. And
Well, I value this too. And if you're saying some super nice things about me at the beginning, dude, I value you. You were someone that stuck out to me. Did we meet in the volunteer room at Discovery Kids? At least that's my first memory of you.
yes,
you
one of your first Sundays.
Yep.
I saw you walk in. Yep, I remember meeting you.
And you've got your camera lens mug and everything like that. But you're a guy who just exudes this confidence. And I remember telling you shortly after, I was like, I'm so happy that you're a guy who's in our fifth grade classroom, up in whatever classroom you end up in,
right?
Because our elementary schoolers need strong men to look up to.
Right.
It's super important. Sometimes people can think of children's ministry as, that's something that the ladies will probably take care of, or maybe some of the younger kids. Oh my goodness. It is so important for our strong men to be in there alongside of our strong leading women and our student volunteers. It really grows our church just from the inside out.
Right.
I just think it's absolutely beautiful. So
I know I bought into the I don't know, my vocabulary is terrible, but I like throwing out words pretending I know what it means.
Sure.
The misnomer that you go and volunteer and it's just you're wasting your Sunday. You're wasting your church day. Or you're I'm not getting fed. Man, I have learned so much, especially what we're doing, starting in Genesis, going through the whole Bible in 3 years. There are times where I'll be sitting in back. I know I shouldn't be texting at church, but I'm texting my my brother or a friend or my wife something like Exodus 14. The Lord will fight for you. All you have to do is be still. That's not just. I mean, we're learning that we're going over it in Discovery Kids, but I'm like, that's something I need right now. Stop striving and sit still. Let the Lord fight for you. I was praying with a guy yesterday, and that was my prayer for him. God, fight for him. You said you will fight for us if we will just be still. I mean, I'm taking. I have notes in my phone from Discovery Kids. I'm sitting in the back. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so great. This is so great because it's a comprehensive study of the Bible. I'm like, I've gotten so much out of just being a volunteer.
100%. I completely agree. And so this is one of my favorite aspects of our Christian faith is that when you read the Bible, we're reading a divinely authored book that can mean one thing to you and mean another thing to me and mean another thing to these 10-year-olds that are in our classrooms and mean something else to someone who just hit 80.
Right.
And it's the same verse.
Right.
And it's absolutely incredible. And so, yeah, volunteering in Discovery Kids and being able to go through the entire Bible, which I think is incredibly important for people who are following Jesus. You just get to know it.
Right.
And you get to know it as an adult man. Just in the same way as a little girl.
Well, I mean, I might be. Some people confuse my intellect with that of the fifth grade class, but
sure.
I just have a beer.
Right. You got held back a couple of times.
Right. I love it, man. I think it's so incredible. I just thoroughly enjoy it. The program's great.
Yeah.
Who is the lady that writes all that?
Oh my goodness. I'll talk this up. Until the end of my days, because it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Just a little bit about my current background.
Yeah.
I'm the pastor of Discovery
Hi.
Kids
Let's
here.
Introduce Trace.
Just a couple minutes in. Okay, so I'm the pastor of Discovery Kids here at our Shea campus, and we have this incredible curriculum that we do in-house, and I boast on it as much as I can because not only is it something that I really don't do very much for. It's something that, God has been orchestrating from the beginning. But the person that puts all the work in is this woman named Susan Wood, who's been pretty much doing all of the behind-the-scenes stuff for our kids' ministry here at Scottsdale Bible for the last 20 years. she writes all of our curriculum, which is what we use on Sundays.
Right.
She writes our content for our sermons, all of our leader guides that you use in your classroom. She writes and directs and acts in all of the videos that are basically just dramatized stories about our Bible story
best,
that
man.
week, which are hilarious.
Yeah.
She writes it all. She directs all of it. She posts it all and edits, puts it all on YouTube. It's amazing. To be honest, I don't really know how she does it. It's
Share
incredible.
the thing that blew, all of that's incredible.
Yeah.
I was blown away that you guys offer this to share that part.
Well, yeah.
How it's offered to other churches.
Yeah.
And people for free. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so children's ministry curriculum is something that a lot of organizations develop, and then to fund their organization, they'll sell it.
Yeah.
Which is understandable
Sure.
to an extent. But for some churches, it's tough to afford. A lot of these curriculums are thousands of dollars a year. And it's great curriculum. We found out with Susan, she's essentially writing our curriculum in-house. So we're developing it for ourselves for free. And it's really good.
Yeah.
And since we're posting it on YouTube, we have all the videos there. And then in the description of the YouTube videos, Susan also posts all of our leader guides and our sermons and everything. And so you can run a children's ministry for free using Discovery Kids Online by just pulling it up on YouTube.
That's so awesome.
It's one of my favorite things that we do here in Discovery Kids.
I love
because
that.
It helps out. We've gotten letters from other churches that have used it. We have last year at the end of the year, we got a packet of 30 letters from a Bible class over in Florida that says that what they do for their Bible class is they just watch one of our videos every single day. And so, when you take 50 weeks out of the year times 3 years for our curriculum, it's about 150 of these videos. Right. And that's about how many days of the school year they have. And so they're just watching one of our videos. They go through the entire Bible.
Dude, so you're Florida famous. Is that the
I don't know if that's something that you want to be, but
is that the furthest reaching letter you've gotten? Is there anything overseas?
No, well, it's so interesting because of how built out YouTube is for on the creator side. We're able to see where people view it. We have people viewing our videos in the Philippines, overseas, and different things like that. So funny.
You're going to end up going on a vacation one day with your wife in the back. Oh, Trace.
Well,
You're just going to be like, oh, how do they know him, honey? No.
Right, yeah. Susan
or
would.
they'll call you by your character name. Hey, Jesus!
Yeah,
like, no.
It's like, no, please don't do that. Susan just recently got back from Japan, just on a trip that she was taking with her family. And when she was getting into Japan, going through customs, someone stopped her and was like, "We know you from YouTube because we watch Discovery Kids Online."
No,
Isn't that incredible? And this, like I said, this is not something that I'm boasting about myself or about Susan, although I love giving credit where credit is due, or even our church. This is God's word that is being bestowed upon people that might not have heard it otherwise. Right. And what our videos are is basically just what's written out of the Bible. Right. A lot of our lines are just straight out of the Bible.
Yeah, but it's just done so well, so cheeky, so goofy. That, I mean, the kindergartners get it, the fifth graders laugh at it. I chuckle, like I'm back there with my second grader, like we're laughing, like they're just so well done. And but you get to the point, you get to the meat of the story and deal with some hard stuff of animal sacrifice. And I mean, when we went through Abraham offering up Isaac, it's like, how are they going to cover this? And then you gotta cover that stuff.
Well, and one of my favorite things about our current curriculum, because I grew up here at Scottsdale Bible, and so I remember going through a lot of these, big time kids Bible stories.
Yeah,
you think of it like Noah and the ark. We have Jonah and the
Right.
big fish,
Big
and we
one,
have
yeah.
Samson and these different things. And I've already seen us go through our curriculum in a way where when I remember going through these stories when I was a kid, all I remember about Samson was that he was a character from the Bible, which means he was a good guy, and he had these big muscles.
Yeah.
But that's not what the story's about. And in Discovery Kids, we go through these stories with hey, this guy was one of God's judges, but he didn't do a very good job.
Yeah.
He was pretty erratic. He was this violent guy. Don't get us started on the whole women thing.
Right.
You know, we really don't shy away from that because we want the kids and these students to understand the Bible is not just a manual of be like this guy because he's in the Bible.
Right.
The Bible's full of messed up people until you reach Jesus.
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa, this is what we're supposed to be like. This is so much better. This is the kind of thing that doesn't lead to just decrepit, depressing lifestyles like we see with everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, think of some of the people that have maybe did it the best. You know, people love David and he did a pretty good job. But he was not perfect. There were times when he distrusted God or followed his flesh. And we see it time and time again until we hit Jesus living a life full of nothing but trust and selflessness. Yeah, you want some more?
Yeah,
Mike?
I'll take a little.
Oh, of course.
Reheat, I guess, is how
And
you call it.
and
Good.
automatically, it's different from everyone else, and it's not Samson, and it's not Noah or Jonah. It's a person that just changed everything, and every single week, our curriculum points to what does this story teach us about Jesus? Because once again, that divine authorship. Yeah, we're reading about Abraham. Oh my goodness, this entire story is basically a prophecy of Jesus, which is amazing.
Crazy, yeah.
Which these Jewish people thousands of years ago would have had no idea about. And we get to reap the benefit of reading the Bible in its entirety.
Right.
And it's just like honey on your lips. It's just amazing.
Yeah. What are you most passionate about with Discovery Kids?
You know, the goal for our ministry is to reach these kids and to be there for their parents. But the interesting thing is, you and the rest of our volunteers get so much more of an intimate opportunity to do that than we as the staff do.
Yeah.
And so one of my favorite aspects of it is interacting and supporting our volunteers. It's something that I'm so passionate about, is serving in your church. And I think Discovery Kids is an amazing place to do that because of the different things that you're talking about.
100%.
You get to go early. You know, our volunteers show up 30 minutes before service starts.
Right.
You get a cup of coffee. You grab a donut, which is, I mean, no one's complaining about that.
No.
But you also get a chance for about 10 to 12 minutes of hearing a little bit more in depth, a little bit more of an adult version of what we're going to be talking about in the lesson. It's a moment for you to kind of quiet your heart, take prayer requests.
Yeah.
But you go to serve, but you just got a little pour in, and you got a little Bible study just for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
We just love supporting our volunteers. That's just, it's integral, because when you and the rest of our volunteers feel supported, that's when you're able to say things like, yeah, it's all about the kids.
Right.
Obviously, it's all about the kids.
Yep. It's such an honor to be able to sit there, especially coming back from warehouse, and then we have the 15 minutes of class questions or teaching time. I so value that, to get to hear from. Right now it's fifth grade. I'm moving to third grade soon, but to just get to hear a little window into their lives.
Yeah.
But also take what we've learned and try to, like I said, I'm a fifth grader at heart. Try to go back. How are they receiving this? They're not receiving it like a mid-40s man. So I challenge myself. How can we teach this? How can we talk about what we learned today?
Yes.
and apply it to what they're going through right now.
Right.
It's challenging, but I love it. And to be able to have those 15 minutes with them and just hear a few little moments, it's just a little window into their life, and speak into that, plant seeds. I think that's what Sunday school is all about, is planting seeds.
100%.
That they may not come to blossom now. Some will.
Right.
Some in a couple years. Some in junior high. Some in high school. Some when they're 35.
Right.
That they'll come. I did a podcast with a guy a couple weeks ago that his Sunday school seeds came back to what would you bloomed, blossomed, something grew when he was in his early 20s.
Right.
But it was dormant up until then. But when things got hard, Sunday school seeds came back and saved him.
Well, it's these timeless truths that we read from the Bible.
Right.
And it's the way that the Holy Spirit will just, I've heard people talk about how sometimes I just listen to the Bible and I just receive it, because in times when I really need it, I'll think of a verse that I wouldn't be able to recite to you right now, but it comes to you because that's just the way the Spirit interacts with us. It's just, it's beautiful. And I think that can hit people from a very, very young age.
Thank you for listening to the Forge Podcast.